Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Press Play. I am your host, Derek Gerber, and today we have my friend Tim Torigian, the Director of Corporate Partnerships for the New England Free Jacks, Boston's Major League Rugby team. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the show. Please tell the audience more about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Derek. Happy to be here. So my name is Tim Torigian. I'm our Director of Corporate Partnerships for the Free Jacks, New England's first professional rugby team, member of Major League Rugby. Just completed our first full season and gearing up for our second one, starting up February 5th will be our first match, and looking forward to it.
Oh, that's so exciting. And we know that you've got like a huge background in sports management and a minor in psychology at the same time. So walk us through some of your background. How did you get into this? How did the whole first year go? Give us a little more context there. How did it get started during the new normal for you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I joined the team last December, so coming up on a year, and COVID was crazy. I mean, we were going into the season, we didn't know if we were going to be able to have fans. We didn't know what the season was going to look like. Honestly, we didn't even know if the season was going to happen with everything that was going on, but we just kind of put our best foot forward and so we're going to test, we're going to be super safe, and a huge testament to the players, coaches, front office staff across the league. Didn't have any cancellations, no crazy outbreaks or anything like that. So it really went as well as we could have thought it went. We were really excited about it. And a lot of it for us, we had never hosted a home match before. So going back to 2020, we had a bunch of matches that were on the road. And we finally got the opportunity this past year to finally show people kind of what we were able to do. And really, it showed. I mean, the boys played phenomenal at home. I think we were tied for the best home record in the league. And just to back it up even further, kind of how I got into this whole thing. Went to school at UMass, like you said, absolutely loved it. Probably one of the best 4 years of my life. Ended up going to a company called Rugged Races and traveled all across the country, setting up obstacle course races, marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, costume runs. I mean, you name it, we did it. Anything that involved moving the body. And loved that job, loved the people there. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Got to go to some places that were out of this world, never could have dreamed about it. Some places that I hope I never have to go back to. But so is life, right? So it's been great. It's been a really fun journey, but the Free Jacks and rugby has been such a fun, unique aspect and really a career spot for me. And rugby is just so amazing. I mean, anyone who's not around it or hasn't been involved with it, can't recommend it enough. I mean, everyone, for me, I came in with very little knowledge and everyone just really open arms. If you had any questions, if there was anything you weren't sure about, people just want to see you, do well and see the sport do well. And it really, I mean, you look at our matches and you look at just rugby in general, the respect that people have for one another is incredible. And I think it has a lot of the things that American fans are looking for. And I think that's why we're all so excited where, we're just getting started now. We just finished our first season and, we kind of took a deep breath and went, okay, like that was great. How do we take that to the next level? And knowing that every team across the league is trying to do that is amazing. And it's really fun to kind of see who's kind of doing what, who's kind of coming up with fun new partnership ideas, what are teams doing to try to get an edge. It's just something that is really fun to be a part of right now.
Oh, that's amazing, man. And the background and the experience, obviously, for the audience, our friend was a worthy backup of Tom Brady with his time at the New England Patriots, if you would, in the game day marketing team. But, I got to say, if you've never been called, he could have been on that field. But, hey, I mean, you live in one of the world's best sporting markets in the world. So what's it like having a team with such a legendary background surrounding you in the market there?
It's awesome. I mean, like you said, I've been born and raised in Massachusetts. Absolutely love it. It's been really fun. I mean, like you said, it's a very, very tough place to play because the expectations are so high. I mean, around here, it's like you either go to a championship and you win or it doesn't matter. So for us, I actually really love that. And I think our players love that because our fans are some of the most passionate, I think, in the nation. And when you have a new kind of thing that's kind of up and coming and it's something that people want to be a part of. So it's really fun to see what it's like kind of looking at the history, like you said, with the Red Sox, the Celtics, Bruins, Patriots, even our Revolution are the best team in MLS right now. So really across the board, there's really really no room for error. And we look at that as a huge opportunity. We've got really high aspirations and goals for this next season. We want to, not only make the playoffs, but we want to contend for the Shield. We want to bring home a championship to kind of hang our hat on that thing. And we're really looking forward to the opportunity. But it's definitely it's definitely challenging at times, but at the same time, we love it. I mean, everyone who's from here, who has been here, has been to a game. I mean, there's think about Red Sox, Yankees, all these fun rivalries. I mean, we're rivals now with Rugby United, and it's kind of ingrained in our blood. I don't know if it's just something in the water here or what, but it's definitely a fun sports town to be a part of.
Well, when fans are willing to drive, 3 hours to go 4 miles down the street to watch their favorite game, they're dedicated. So that's why I had to ask, man, because, here on the show for the audience, we focus on three pillars here: awareness, education, and revenue. But I know you've got a digital footprint now. You've been in there for a year. One of the best markets and one of the best fan bases in the world supporting local teams, right? So, like, how are you and the New England Free Jacks being innovative in your digital marketing communications and seeking out more additional corporate partnerships and keeping fans aware of what's new and exciting about the team? How are you using these platforms today?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think one of the things that kind of drove me to the team in general when I was looking at it was the level of professionalism that was being done at such an early stage for a sports organization. You look at us against all the other big four and big five teams in the market, and we're right there. The content and the things that our marketing team does are absolutely incredible. So hats off to them to, making us look good, kind of across the board. But, we're really lucky where social media and digital media, you look at the revolution when they got their start, it didn't even exist. So we can, talk to people, not just in New England, but we've got fans all over the country, if not all over the world, because our players are coming from all over the world. So we're trying to figure out ways that, not only just the stereotypical, let's run a promotion or let's do a campaign or something like that. We want to kind of take it a step further and say, what are things that we're doing every day? And you look at, you talk about partnerships, and one of our favorite ones, obviously, Delta Airlines. Every time the boys travel on Delta, they take care of them from the minute they show up at the airport. There's someone greeting them to get their bags. There's no lines. There's nothing. They go right through. They get access to the lounge. They're, on, all these great planes. So it's something that the boys really enjoy. And, to us, it's really fun because as much as we like being partners with them and it's such a great value, but, we love having them out at games. We love showing them, try to almost like return the favor. We want to make it so when people come out to a Free Jacks game, they have that same experience that they would if they're flying Delta. So again, it just kind of goes back of, we're trying to elevate ourselves and really have the highest level of professionalism that there is, but it's fun. I mean, it is an absolute blast over here. It's a ton of work, but we love being able to be innovative and to kind of be ourselves. And that's something our CEO said the other day is, if we can do things like we want to be on brand, we don't want to be something that we're not. And I think that's something we lean into a lot. It's really fun. We've got a great group of guys who love doing social media campaigns. They love doing videos. It's amazing how quickly people, turn around as soon as there's a camera rolling or those, pictures being taken. So, I mean, it's really fun. The boys are great. I mean, we've got great partners, and it's really something that we're looking to build out even more, next year and, obviously for years to come.
Well, they obviously have the right guy in the right seat. And I got to say, one of the reasons we're unpacking the past is because you're applying it now. And like, you're walking me right into my next question is that you've got some great corporate partners already, and it's growing, but including Delta, the U.S. Army, the super popular dude wipes, right? How are you showcasing these partners to your audience, right? Both online and in your stadium. I mean, you got a little bit of everything, a variety there, and you're already talking about the experience. So walk us through a couple more examples. Give us some examples that bring it to life for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Dude Wipes is like you said, everyone knows Dude Wipes now, right? They're amazing. And uh,
Executed extremely well too. I gotta say, like they've done a phenomenal job on their branding and marketing in the last couple of years.
yeah, those guys are incredible. Ryan and Sean, I've known for a number of years now. We go back. My previous company, we're both on Shark Tank, and that's how we kind of got connected. And it was really one of those things. We just kind of had this idea, and I mean, what better partner and what better placement than on the really short, just have Dude Wipes. And I shot Ryan a message, and I think I looped in Sean, which was like, hey, like we have an idea. What do you guys think? And if anyone's familiar with their brand, they jumped at the opportunity and they're like, absolutely, like let's absolutely do this, and let's try to have fun with it. But the reason why we enjoy it so much is number one, it's a great conversation starter, right? Whether you're watching in the stands or whether you're watching at home. But something that we try to do, with all of our partners is we want it to be as genuine and unique and authentic as possible. So like I just said with Delta, we're using them for flights, and the funniest thing about Dude Wipes was, we had some people knew who they were, and we had some people who didn't know who they were. But the best thing about that is you have people who are, watching the team in the stands, and then they go to use the restroom, and then all of a sudden they realize there's a Dude Wipe, waiting there for them if they need to use it. So being able to have that kind of advertising to show, hey, here's this awesome brand, and people kind of trying to figure out, what is this? What do they do? But then being able to put that product in hand and being able to try it, whenever you need it, whether it's at the game or later on, it's just something that it's very fun, and we get the opportunity to do it, and those are the things that we're constantly looking for. We want to make sure that our partners are just that, they're partners. It's something that we want to integrate them into everything we do, and like you said, we've got a couple of great ones already working with, and we're obviously looking for more for next year. We've got a lot of fun things that we're going to be announcing the next couple of weeks, but it's all the fun things that we really enjoy it. Whenever we have someone who we think is going to be a good fit, and we have some great conversations, there's no shortage of creativity. And again, kudos to our team and our management. They kind of give us a lot of flexibility to say, if you guys have a good idea, let's run with it. Let's see what can happen. And I'll say our CEO says it best. Instead of kind of asking the question, why are we going to do this? He's almost like, why not? What's the worst thing that could happen? Let's try something. If it works out, great. And if it doesn't, then we go back to the drawing board, and we'll try something else.
I like that. And one of the things that gets me really excited is that you're in one of the most highlighted cities in America, or the world most specifically, for all these talented sports. You have all these competing attentions across everything, but you're finding ways to glue digital experiences through digital advertising and those types of things into real world experiences at the same time. It's a completely unbranded experience from an upcoming name in a highly popular sports market. So that gets me super excited to hear the best practices for the things that are coming out in the next couple of weeks. Any stories that you could share with the audience that might inspire them for next year?
I can't give away too much right now. We definitely have some exciting things that are in the pipeline for sure. I can't disclose names or things like that, but some of it are things that the boys will be using, probably every day or every other day. We've got a lot of different conversations, kind of across a lot of different mediums. So nothing that I can disclose right now, but maybe we'll touch base, or maybe just keep an eye on our socials, because we'll have some fun press releases coming out, where people can
I love it.
follow and kind of see what's going on.
Yeah, involving the players, involving the sports properties, building completely on-branded experiences from digital to in-person. It doesn't get any more best practices than that, my friend. So you get me really excited. But I want to come back to this, what type of challenges have you had from the other side of things, marketing your team in such a lush Boston sports market landscape? I mean, if so, if you've had any issues, how do you combat them together? Take the shot. We hear that, why not? Is there anything else in that mix that you could share with us?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like you said, it's a tough market to be in, because the market share is crazy. Not to mention professional sports, but you've got really successful colleges here. I mean, you got BC, BU, Northeastern, my alma mater, UMass. There's a lot of people who are kind of trying to kind of get their spot in or their time in the spotlight, I should say. And for us, our biggest challenge is probably just, figuring out, how do we fit in? How do we differentiate? Because it is tough. And for us, with our season, kind of taking place kind of spring through summer, you kind of get a little bit of everything. We're not really messing with the Patriots too much. We'll definitely have Bruins and Celtics and Red Sox and things like that. But we're also trying to figure out, where do we fit? And, when we looked at, our schedule, and as much as that's one of the best things about Boston is all these teams, support one another, and they rally around one another, and they want to see everyone succeed, which is fantastic. So, for us, some of the challenges have been, how do we carve out our time, and how do we kind of make sure that, really that we're not competing with these guys, but almost complementing one another. And the primary reason we did our schedule the way we did, most of our matches are going to be on Saturdays between 4:30 and 6:30. And for anyone who's kind of around Boston, or probably anywhere in the country, a lot of sports teams have that 1 to 4 window, and there's kind of that break, and then you've got a 7 to 10 window. So we kind of looked at saying, all right, well, how can we fit in? In a perfect world, can we have someone who can go to a Red Sox game from 1 to 4, then they jet over to Quincy to watch a Free Jacks game from 4:30 to 6:30, and then shoot back in to catch a Bruins game, from 7 to 9 or whatever it may be. So we're working on things like that because that's, I mean, what an amazing story to be able to go to three different sports games in a matter of a day. So trying to figure out ways to do that, but again, we don't ever look at things as as challenges. We look at it as opportunities to find solutions, and it's really
Yeah.
that's the most fun part that we have is we just have a really good group of people who all have the same mindset of all right, so this is what's going to be ahead of us. How do we combat that? How do we overcome that? But how do we do it while having fun? And that's something that we have every single day, and that's really what keeps us going. It's like you said, there's definitely, a little bit of a David versus Goliath right now, but well, quite honestly, we like those odds. We know that rugby is going to take off, probably sooner, much rather than later.
That's right. Well, one of the fastest growing sports in all of America for right now, from what I understand, and for obvious reasons. It's exciting. It really is. And I got to say, I like what you said too. It's not like everyone's necessarily competing for another's attention. It's like all these teams, all these people, everyone's supporting each other. Sounds like an amazing piece of digital content to create as to the ideal, the ideal sports day for the true Boston fan. You know what I mean? Like, you go through every day, you spend a whole Saturday, you saw 3 or 4 games. Oh man, I hope you had a couple drinks in between to have some fun with it, but also behaved yourself. If anyone's doing that piece of content, behave yourself. So I gotta say, man, it's exciting. You got this team, highly lucrative market, lots of attention there, growing, 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 big brands already, excitement coming around the corner. What's next for you and the New England Free Jacks, my friend? What's coming around the corner for next year?
Yeah, we're excited. So we just made our move to Quincy. So our last home match was in Quincy at Veterans Memorial Stadium. For anyone who hasn't been there, absolutely beautiful. A huge renovation done a couple years ago, and having a video board, state-of-the-art locker rooms, the field playing turf is amazing. So that's our biggest thing is moving into that space. We're going to be there for the next 5 years. So Quincy is very much going to be home. Our HQ is going to be there. So we're in the process of building it out as we speak. So there's a lot of fun things kind of coming in the pipeline. We're very much want to be ingrained into Quincy and Boston and all of New England. So not only are we trying to build out, what we're doing on game days, but we want to make sure that when we've got fans in Maine and New Hampshire, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, that everyone has the opportunity to either come to a game in person or really watch it on TV. And we're working on building out that network with our different pub partners. We're working with our different beer partners, and it's really fun thing to be a part of. I mean, we're always kind of looking ahead of what can we do bigger, better than next year. And again, that's where the excitement comes from. So there's a lot of fun things on the horizon. For anyone who was at that last game, you could tell the environment was just so different. It's a really incredible place to play, and quite honestly, we want it to continue to be one of the toughest places to play in Major League Rugby. So we're looking forward to selling that out, week after week, and it is going to be a fun experience. So for anyone who hasn't been there yet, I can't recommend it enough. Whether you know everything there is about rugby or if you know absolutely nothing, I guarantee you'll pick it up within a couple minutes. I myself, if I can pick it up, anyone can pick it up. So it's really fun. We're excited to kind of show people what we can do, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
I love it, man. I really do. And it's super exciting to watch you bring this to life through your experience. Again, for everybody who's listening in, remember, we just talked about a lot of different things in the audience here. We've got 3 different pillars: awareness, education, and revenue. Not everything is just straight up revenue in your face. Buy this right now. We're building a culture. We're building a fan base. We're aligning our core values with the local market in one of the most highlighted cities in all of the world for championship sports production. So he's got a lot of pressure. My friend Tim is bringing this to life, and he's following best practices. So please make sure you follow along. But I just want to, hey, look, Tim, thanks so much for coming on here, sharing a couple secrets with us behind the scenes. But we're all really excited for you, man, and definitely wish you luck on all the next best steps as we stay connected.
Absolutely, Derek. Thank you so much for having me. We're looking forward to continuing these conversations, and we'll definitely fill you in on things that are happening. And if you're ever in Boston, we'd love to get you out to a game. So let me know when the next time you're in town.
I am overdue for a trip to Boston. And to all my friends, I got to say, make sure you're following Tim and his journeys. Really, some exciting stuff coming out of there with really big brand names, doing it best practices in a genuine effort, too. Building lots of awareness and education around all these different programs is really exciting to watch come to life. So, again, thank you from my side. And again, for the audience, if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. But this has been another episode of Press Play. I've been your host, Derek Gerber, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks.